So if you can make people laugh, if you can make an impression on them with a funny ad or a funny commercial, you are a lot more likely to be remembered by them whenever they go to that point where they need to buy something.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have a special guest, Jeremy, and we're going to talk about behavioral marketing today and a lot of things. So Jeremy, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Jeremy LaDuke, the founder of Epic 9 Marketing and also author of Climb, The Risks and Rewards of Elevating Your Brand.
Wow, fantastic. So Jeremy, tell us a little bit more. Why do you decide to become an entrepreneur?
It was out of necessity, really. I left a career that that left me no marketable skills to enter into another career. And so I had developed design and web design skills on the side. And that was really my only marketable skill set. But I didn't have enough of that skill set to get hired on at a larger company. So I said, I think I can do this on my own, and I think I can make money through freelancing. And I jumped out several years ago, probably 13 years ago, and started freelancing. Then, long story short, wound up working for an agency for a little over a year, and decided that I think I can do the business side of this a little bit more, a little better, treat my clients better, produce better things on my own, and started Epic 9 in 2014.
But then it's a big difference, right? When you have a job and then you have your money saved, right? Completely different ball game is to open your business, right? So what made you think that that become an entrepreneur was the best option for you? It actually seems more risky, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners that go out and start their own thing will tell you it's a little bit of just not knowing what you're getting into. You think you have a great idea, and people will pay you for it, and it's a little bit just naivety and a little bit of courage, and you just jump out and do it. I always consider entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs that are looking to build something in a local community. They really are the heroes of our local community. They're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into creating something that hopefully will provide a living and livelihood for other people in that community. And so, yeah, it's a little bit of stupidity, a little bit of courage, and
A mix of both, yeah.
some faith that you have a good service or product.
So, what happened when your family find out that you don't want to work for anybody else, that you want to become to run your own business? They told you that that's a great idea. Some of them, they thought that you were crazy.
So
you didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, yeah. So for the most part, I think they had no idea. I was the first one in the family to do something like this. So for the most part, for the most part, my family was probably as ignorant as I was about what all is involved in starting a business. So they were all thumbs up and encouraging, and
that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah. They didn't have any clue what you were getting into, what the risk.
No. If they had done it before, they probably would have warned me.
A lot of concerns, yeah. Well, that maybe that was good. Yeah, at least you have some encouragement from from the family. So how they feel now that you're running a business and you have your clients? Are they happy for you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Proud of you, yeah. So okay, let's talk about this, Jeremy. What behavioral marketing? What is this? Can you share with us?
Yeah. Behavioral marketing it's kind of an emerging field that's really starting to pick up a lot of steam. And it's the combination of two things. One, it's behavioral psychology and some behavioral economics mixed with just how does that apply to the marketing world? Really, what we're talking about and what we're trying to understand is why do people buy the things they buy? Why do people, get attached to a certain brand? Why do they buy the thing that's priced, $2.99 and not, $2.89 or, whatever? Why do they buy it more when it's colored red than when it's colored black? So there's a lot of things that just psychologically affect how effective marketing can be, and that's studied and focused on in the world of behavioral marketing. Um, so that's it in a nutshell.
Okay. And so basically, what it means is that the way that that we can visualize the product and the colors that we use, the aspect of it can become more appealing to certain audience that another one in a traditional way. Makes sense?
Yeah. It's a lot of understanding how kind of the subconscious mind works in our decision making process. So, for instance, whenever we go to the store and we're gonna buy something, maybe it's a new category and we've never really bought this particular thing before.
Mm-hmm.
If we see something that's somewhat familiar to us, we're going to be drawn to that just automatically. It's the familiarity bias. Um, a couple of people a while back, Daniel Kahneman and David Persky wrote a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. And it really talks about how our brain functions in two ways, right? So we have a slow way of thinking that gets kicked in whenever we're balancing a checkbook or we're playing a game of chess. That's a slow way. It's very calculated way of thinking. But then we also have a system one way of thinking where that's very short. It's the things that are just kind of wired and programmed into our brain that we aren't even really aware of. And so to kind of demonstrate kind of the difference between these two things, like if I were to ask you two plus two, what would you say?
Or
Yes, yeah, you know that. That's a system. It's a system one. It's built in. You've known that since grade school. But if I said, what's 13,000 times 22,439, that's going to take you a little longer.
yeah, no gonna
That's going
work.
to
I
kick
need a
you into
calculator.
yeah, it's going to kick you into the system two way of thinking. And when we ask when we make people think about our marketing and our branding, it kicks them into system two and it pulls them out of system one. And system one is really that's system one's the easy thing, right? It's the way that our brains have evolved so that we make decisions quickly. And whenever we have to go into system two, we're less likely to get people to buy our thing, right? And it's completely um, kind of counterintuitive. Like whenever we go into a business, we want to think, man, our product or our service is the best that's out there. And so we want to give people all the reasons, right? That's why you see a lot of like really ineffective websites where someone will say, my business is the best because of, these five reasons right here. And it'll explain it out. And there's a lot of words. And that's really not helping people make a decision. They want to go to the website and they want to be almost subconsciously reassured that they can trust you with their money, they're worth your time, and your product's going to be good. If you can do that in the first few seconds, you've got them. But what we try to do sometimes, because it makes sense, right? We think, oh man, it makes sense that I should explain why I'm better, rather than just putting my logo on a billboard, right? And so people throw all these words on a billboard that no one ever really reads. Where if they had just put their logo on the billboard, it's probably going to be 1,000 times more effective than the bullet pointed list that they provided, because it makes it easier for people to become familiar with your brand, and see you. One way that's really effective at kind of pulling people into your brand, it's not easy, but it's effective, is humor, right? So if you can make people laugh, if you can make an impression on them with a funny ad or a funny commercial, you are a lot more likely to be remembered by them whenever they go to that point where they need to buy something. Do you watch the Super Bowl?
No, because I'm here in United Kingdom, but I know that the advertisements are everybody
Yeah.
most expensive one, right?
Yeah. Is there a comparable thing in the UK?
No, but we can say we have the Euro Cup now, and yeah, it would like
Okay.
the similar effect. Everybody's watching
Well,
this, right?
well, think about your the last your favorite commercial. What's your favorite commercial that you've ever seen that just kind of made you laugh? You thought it was great.
The Pepsi Cola with the this back in the 80s with the Jane Fonda. This is my favorite commercial.
Okay.
Pepsi, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's throwing it way back there.
Yeah.
How many times did you have to see that commercial before you remembered it?
Honestly, I didn't see that many times. It was very
Yeah.
impactful. I think 3 to 4 times only.
Yeah. Yeah. So the crazy thing is like if you have boring ads, you're going to spend a lot more money trying to get people to remember them than if you just have
Absolutely.
a very emotionally engaging. It doesn't have to be funny, but funny is
Absolutely.
kind of the one that is hooks people the most.
Most.
But it could be a very serious, like it could be it could pull on your heartstrings really well. But if you can connect with people on an emotional level that doesn't require a lot of explanation, you're more likely to get that business. And so that's really, I guess, in a nutshell, that's part of how behavioral marketing works. Whenever you're thinking about how do you advertise, like rather than making very long, boring ads and copy, you find something that connects with people on a subconscious level. It connects with people on an emotional level. One of the things that I try to avoid doing when we're working with a client is if we create a new logo or if we create an ad campaign concept, I try not to ask them what do they think about it, because the minute I ask them what they think about it, their brain automatically switches into that system two way of thinking, and they start analyzing it, right? But that's not what you do when you see an ad. When you see an ad, you immediately process it. So I try to
Yeah,
ask,
and the owner is not the buyer anyway, so his opinion is irrelevant. He's not
yeah.
buying.
So I'll always ask people how does it make them feel? Like how do you feel about this? Um, so yeah, that was a long way of answering that question.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.